You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Di Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hello, Sip and Grow family. Welcome back to another episode of Sip and Grow, the podcast with me, your host, Nicole Di Pasquale. Today, we're once again in the darkness. It's actually pretty late today, but I am out here and we're doing this and we're filming, and it's beautiful weather. It's sweater weather over here in Miami, Florida. Currently, it's like 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which chef's kiss. We love that. I personally wish it could be like this all year round, but we don't get that over here. We get humidity and hot days that will make you sweat your face off, literally. Anyways, today I brought in a wine that I tried about I would say it was like 2 months ago or almost 3 months ago. I don't remember the time frame, but it was this year for sure. And I had gotten a white wine by the glass. It was a Chenin Blanc by the glass that they were serving at a rooftop bar that I was at, and I really enjoyed it in that moment. I don't know if it was the same. I don't remember if it was the same vintage, but I know it's this specific bottle and producer. I took a picture of it. I should have looked it up in my album. I just didn't. But basically, this is a Chenin Blanc. The vintage it's a 2020 vintage Chenin Blanc from Mendoza, Argentina. So what surprised me is like usually Chenin Blancs, they're really popular in France. Like you see a lot of Chenin Blancs coming from the Loire Valley, but like there are other countries and regions that produce Chenin Blanc and do a really good job in making a Chenin Blanc. I personally love this white wine. Like this white grape varietal is probably one of my favorites because I feel like it's a very adaptable and versatile grape. So like it's versatile because it's versatile in style. Like you can go from like a really acidic Chenin Blanc to a sweeter Chenin Blanc depending on the producer and how the grapes were harvested and how they came out that year and yada yada. So like I feel like Chenin Blanc is a very adaptable and versatile grape and can appeal to many different taste palettes, which is great. We love an adaptable wine. Like, you can get different styles of a Chenin Blanc and they all taste really, really great. And they're pretty consistent in being like medium bodied, at least the ones I've tried. They're also popular in sparkling wines. Like they're used for sparkling wine as well. But yeah, I'm excited to introduce this producer. So this producer is called Gen del Alma, which the label on it kind of looks like it's like the Joker card from a card deck. And it just says hehe here in Spanish. But it's a Chenin Blanc from the northern part of the Uco Valley in Mendoza. And I was reading up on this producer. So it's basically these five friends that got together and they were like, yo, let's buy some land. I got a hair stuck in my face. Let's buy some land. They did this back in 2011. Yeah, 2011. Their five friends got together and like, hey, let's get a little vineyard and let's get a little production going, which they only produce two types of wine, I believe, which it's Chenin Blanc and no, they produce other grapes too. I read they produce two cuvées, but then I saw like Pinot Noir and like Malbec in there, I believe. But it's basically 7 hectares of a land. So it's not a huge vineyard, but it's big enough to like produce a good amount of wine. And this one's one of their popular ones because they produce it every single year. And reading into it, so like that specific area, which is like the northern part of the Uco Valley in Mendoza, is considered like high altitude. So it's 1,400 meters above sea level. And we love high altitude wines because they get a little bit more exposure to sunlight and like UV rays. So when you have grapes being exposed more to the sunlight and UV rays, that kind of builds up more tannins on the skins. And when you have more tannins present on the skins, or like a more tannic grape, ultimately it gives you really intense color when you ferment and create the wine or ferment the wine. And also it gives you like an age-worthy wine. So we love that. We love high altitude wines. They're the best. And this area or the vineyard where these grapes are grown they have like a combination of different soils. So they have like alluvial soils, limestone, and like a layer of sand in there as well. So like this kind of combination helps. It's really good with the drainage, but also it kind of stresses the vines out because sometimes the vines are kind of like looking for some water and they're like, yo, where the water at? But this is not a bad thing because it just yields more concentrated wines. And we love that. We love a more concentrated wine because that gives you a more complex wine most of the time. But anyways, let me go ahead and open this up. I'm really excited to share this one with you guys because I remember when I had it, I really, really enjoyed it. I don't remember the tasting notes off the top of my head because I only had a glass and I was just like, yes, we have to buy this again. But we're going to taste it here and we're going to see. We're going to talk about it. I got this one specifically in Graciano's Market for $19.99. So it is it's like a medium price range, but I don't think it's bad. Like I don't think that's bad, especially if you like the wine. And it is unfiltered, so we love that as well. And this week is Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. This episode's actually gonna launch the day before Thanksgiving, so if I'm not able to say it in person to you, I know you and you're watching this, happy Thanksgiving. I think it's a good episode. You know what? We're just gonna do it. I think it's a great episode to just talk about how thankful I am for how far I've come with my whole podcast. If you don't know the story, I basically have always told, like I've always said it to my close friends can attest to this, but oh my gosh, wait, hold on, story time. Look at this color. That's the concentrated color I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about. These are the stress on the vines that yield more concentrated colors. We love this. We love a good color wine. It kind of almost looks like, this is really bad. It kind of looks like pea, but I know it's not, obviously it's not pea, but it kind of looks like, we're gonna say golden yellow. We're not gonna say the wine looks like pea because that's not appealing. No one wants to drink that unless you have to survive. If you have to survive, and there's, hypothetically speaking, if you get stranded somewhere and there's no food, no water, you can actually survive drinking your own pee for I think 2 to 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. These are fun facts. You know, we're sipping, growing, and learning here. So if you didn't know, if you get stranded somewhere, hypothetically speaking, if you get stranded somewhere and there's no food and there's no water, you can drink your pee and you will survive another 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. Look it up. Anyways, we're gonna get back to the wine and then story time about my you know, overall, how grateful I am for how far I've come and how I got here with the podcast and everything. But before we do that, let's do the tasting notes real quick, so that we can drink and I can talk and we can have a good time, you know? So immediately off the bat, the color is golden yellow, aka it looks like pee. I'm getting like, ooh, there's a lot of minerality coming through. So like I said before, one of the soils that are mixed in is limestone. And one thing I love about limestone is like it gives you a lot of minerality that like kind of shines through in the wines. I personally love a good acidic wine that has a lot of minerals, like minerality in it. But I like a lot of different wines, so you know, we're here tasting them all and enjoying them all and appreciating them all for what they are, because everything is beautiful in its own way and good in its own way. I mean, not everyone will like a particular wine, but like that's okay too, you know. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm getting like, I'm even getting floral notes like blossom, and like, oh my god, what is that? Oh, you know what? Stone fruit notes. Also, like apricot is super present in there. And what else is that? And even like peach nectar, a little bit. Okay, let's taste it. Okay. I definitely taste like the peachy apricotiness to it, but also it tastes like an orange peel as well. Like I think the acidic side of it is like from like an orange peel, and also I would say like borderline grapefruit, lemon as well. But I feel like it's a very acidic wine, medium bodied. It's kind of like when you drink it, it's not light on the mouthfeel. It's like a little bit heavier, but I really, really enjoy that. I would say a Chenin Blanc is, it tends to be a medium bodied wine. So it's like a little bit more intense than a Sauvignon Blanc with a little bit more alcohol content in it, but it's below a Chardonnay. So like depending on which Chardonnay and depending on which Chenin Blanc. But I will say the best way to describe a Chenin Blanc is like if a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay had a baby. Yeah. Or you could say Chenin Blanc is like the cousin of Chardonnay. I don't know. I just know that I tend to like Chenin Blancs, and you can get really, really good Chenin Blancs from France for sure, but also from Argentina, because I really enjoy this one. This one, I would say it's more on the acidic side versus the fruity side of it, but it's very crisp and intense in the mouthfeel. But it does go down smoothly, but it leaves you kind of salivating and wanting more. So that's where like the acidity comes through, because you kind of just want to keep on drinking it. It's kind of like, that's why it's a whole concept of like drinking lemonade. Like, since lemonade is acidic, you drink it, it's very refreshing, and you just want to keep on drinking it more. This is the same concept. The only thing is it is a little bit more on the medium bodied side versus like the light bodied side. But overall, I think for the price point and the quality of this wine, I would rate this wine an 8.8 out of 10. Like, I really genuinely enjoy this Chenin Blanc, and I would buy this bottle again if I'm feeling like having white wine. Yeah, I highly recommend, like, please go out and buy this bottle and try it, because it's really, really good. Like, it's a solid Chenin Blanc, and it's not like that expensive. Like, you can get a really expensive Chenin Blanc. I actually did try it was like almost $200 bottle of Chenin Blanc one time, but it was phenomenal. It was a Grand Cru from France. But that was like at my wrap up dinner with my winemaker after we finished harvest, and we all got to like pick a bottle to take to dinner on the company, of course. And he had chosen, it was him or my coworker. I don't remember who chose it, but like someone brought the Grand Cru Chenin Blanc, and it was like chef's kiss, phenomenal. But anyways, back to Thanksgiving, back to this week. I am so grateful for not only how far I've come, because I feel like it's very important to see your progress and how, like, looking back at things and where you are now, like all the work you've done to be the person you are today. I think that's super important. Like, reflection is key to like understanding, your growth and where you're going. But also, recently, there's been a lot of people in my life just telling me how like they've seen the immense like change and growth, and like how great like I'm doing by pursuing like what I love to do, which I think I'm overall grateful that I stuck with my intuition and my inner knowing of like, this is what I want to do and we're going to do it. And I didn't allow anybody or anything to like stop me from doing what I wanted to do. I've always been like that, but I think it's like, looking back at it, I literally decided to switch my career at a time where like not a lot of people do that, like at the age that I was at. And I just like took a leap of faith. Like, I just quit my job and like said I'll figure it out, because at the end of the day, everything is figure outable. Like, fortunately, I had the resources and the support in like to do that, and I understand not everyone has that, but I feel like life is too short to not do things that you enjoy doing and to not go after things that you are curious about, because curiosity is the key to happiness. I think you should always be curious. I think you should always take a leap of faith into things and figure out stuff later. Like, I that is my character and that's who I am. Like, I love jumping into the unknown and then just figuring it out as I go, because I feel like the best way to experience life is to just have fun and do things that bring you joy and like you genuinely enjoy doing, and everything else will come with that. But I think it all starts from you knowing yourself and you going within and being like, what do I really want out of this life that I'm living, right? And who do I want to surround myself with, and what do I enjoy doing, and like what would I like to do, or what would I like to try to do. And you get so much out of trying to do something versus never doing anything, and always, like, you never want to regret not trying something out because you were always curious about it. Because I feel like a lot of people who criticize or judge or are unhappy with their life is because they, in a way, are kind of like, damn, like, that person is just doing all these amazing things, but like I never got to do this. And like, it's like comparison is a thief of joy, right? So like, I feel like if more people were to jump into the unknown and jump into doing something that they've always wanted to do, like, excitement is on the other side of fear. So move towards the fear with, courage. Obviously it's going to be scary, but like, when you move towards the fear and then you get past the hard part, that's where you find the bliss. That's where you find the joy. That's where you find out if you really enjoy that or if you really don't. And then when you find out you don't, you kind of like just learn something new, and then you figure out, okay, cool, like, what do I want to do next? But like, I don't know, I just feel like life is too short not to do what you want to do. And I think you always have to be grateful for where you are, and you always have to be grateful and reflect and look back at how far you've come. And I think when you have gratitude, like when gratitude is your main source of like your main emotion daily, everything else will align. Like, your joy will be there, will be present, because there's this thing that happens, like when you have gratitude for exactly where you are and you're grateful for all the things you currently have, that is just you attracting in more good things to come your way. And we want that. We love that for us. But I encourage you to just take a moment and write down 5 things that you're grateful for. I personally write, like, I journal every day and I write down a couple of things that I'm grateful for, and then I throw in like manifestations in there, and it's just my day-to-day practice. But I feel like it's a game changer, and like if I could give you one piece of advice with this video or with this episode, I would say start a gratitude practice daily, whether it be writing it down or verbally saying 5 things that you're grateful for. You'll see the change in your like mood and your day to day if you consistently do it. Like just consistently do it till it becomes a habit where you're like, you know, you're not even thinking about it when you do it. And you're gonna start to see how your mood changes, how people around you are treating you different, like how you're attracting in more goodness and kindness to happen to you. And I feel like when you operate from that is like where the magic happens, and where like you'll take things and situations that happen a lot more calmly and peacefully, and from a place of like, okay, cool, like that just happened, but like it's okay, we'll figure it out, or it's okay, tomorrow's a new day. Like just a positive perspective, because I think gratitude also helps you be more positive and optimistic in whatever situation life throws at you. But anyways, let me know if you get to try this wine, because again, my rating is 8.8 out of 10. I really enjoy it. I would definitely like bring this to a party if we wanted to have white wine. I think this is a good wine to bring. But let me know what you think. And I'm grateful for you guys tuning in every single week and supporting me in my podcast adventure. And I hope to bring you, I hope that I'm bringing you value, and I hope that I inspire you to go after what you want to do. But once again, thank you for always being here for me and supporting me in fulfilling my dreams and like what makes me happy, because genuinely like this makes me happy and I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you guys. Cheers. I'll see you on the next episode.